Then what kind of cook was your brother? Or is your brother?
He's a like Italian, Spanish type of cook, Southern style cook. Right now he runs an Italian restaurant in Houston, Texas.
That just sounds awesome. And Houston is awesome.
He's doing
too,
well.
so.
He started a frozen pizza line.
My dad tried to do that as well with the soup. He frozen matzo ball soup.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that sounds great. See, we're gonna talk food.
It was popular, but it was hard for him to maintain.
What is matzo ball soup? I think a lot of us don't know what matzo ball soup is.
Matzo ball soup is Jewish people find unleavened bread very important. Flatbread because of it's what we ate in our time in the desert. If you take that flatbread and make it into a ball, you use the same material that you use to make the flatbread to make the matzo ball. And then you soak it. It's like it's boiled.
It kind of looks like the Korean Japanese breadcrumbs, right? Kinda.
I'm not sure what Korean Japanese breadcrumbs.
You know the breadcrumbs you get here. Would you fry? Would you get on donkes?
Oh, okay, yeah. Kind of like that, but in a ball.
Similar, yeah. It's interesting.
You'll be jealous, so jealous.
Matzo ball soup.
So, you when you came to Korea, you already had an interest in food.
Yeah, already had an interest in food.
And you came here, and then right away you started.
I started talking about food. I mean, that was my attraction. One of the things was I had an interest in Korea before because I took Korean history at university, so I was really curious. The reason
way
was
back in 2004.
Way back in the 90s, I was taking Korean classes.
Like I know that Korean classes exist in university now. It's like it's a big thing. Where did you study at? What university?
Can you believe the University of Alabama?
Yeah, well, totally makes sense. Yeah, University of Alabama Korean courses in the 90s.
He's being sarcastic.
I do that a lot.
And that's the reason I took it because I saw it in the course, and I needed some history courses, and I saw that and go, wow, that was surprising. Let's try this out. Turned out Korean history is great, so I really got into it. I started taking more Korean history. It's really fun.
So fascinating.
Yeah. So I really got into it. So I was really interested in Korea. Chance came in 2003, 2004 to come here, and I was really interested in international cuisines. But Korea was a real blind spot for me. I had not had much experience. I had a couple of bad experiences in the U.S. with Korean food. So I really wanted to know more about it.
And then so you came here and you picked it up. When did you start blogging about it?
Basically on the airplane over.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely. I didn't even know. We came here around the same time. So 2004, 2006, that was like really the beginning of people trying to do that kind of thing on the internet and monetize it and figure out how to work it.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people that was trying to monetize it. More for me, it was more of it was kind of a diary, a journal, just to keep track of the food I was eating. Because to me, everything was just so new, and I loved it. And keeping track of any recipe I came up with.
Well, I came here in 2006, but I don't remember when. But I remember way back then, trying to search for food recommendations and on the internet and trying to figure out where to eat. And I remember at some point Zen Kimchi came up, and I was like, "Wow, this is like actually something about Korean food in English," because there was nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard to even navigate.
And I was
the
always
restaurants.
learning all the time, so anything I learned, I would just post. I'm not an expert. Do not call me an expert on Korean food. I'm always just.
It's too late.
I'm an enthusiast.
In my mind, you qualify as an expert.
I know more now than I did back then, but I have a lot more to go.
That's one of the ways that you can actually tell if someone is an expert in a field when they deny being an expert because they understand how complicated the terrain is and how much they don't know.
The more you know, the more you don't know.
Right. So you've been able to really see how the Korean cuisine has changed, and you've been able to like experience it firsthand with some people who are responsible for food culture.
Yeah, I'm responsible for a few. I think we might be able to trace some of these things back to me because I usually with the food celebrities, I'm usually the person behind the scenes, setting everything up, consulting with everything.
So what's that like, consulting and teaching people about Korean cuisine?
Well, I love sharing it. I love seeing the people share my passion, and then I've met some of my heroes in the food world by doing that. It's been fun. I think that a little bit responsible for 청국장찌개 being known as dead body soup.
It's you to
I
blame.
mentioned it as a joke when I was helping a TV show, and they put it on the show. And since then, people have been calling it dead body soup. And I've been seeing on Google searches for dead body soup all the time. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And also when Anthony Bourdain was in town, I insisted that he do a segment on budae-jjigae. He fell in love with it and he promoted it like crazy. And I think that's the reason budae-jjigae is really much more heavily known outside of Korea than it was before.
Nice. Though it was a good choice. Budae-jjigae is
I love
delicious.
budae-jjigae. It's I call it 4th of July in soup form.
This is the first food I ate in Korea. And
Really?
Yeah.
It took me a while before I ate it because I was so scared to try it.
I didn't have a choice. I was at orientation.
They gave you that?
Yeah, that's what they... And they were like, this is the everything soup.
Oh,
and I was
God.
like... It looked so bad, too, when I first saw
scary.
it. It's just so scary. But, like, then you try it and you're like...
It looks like someone threw the trash from the refrigerator
exactly,
into the pot.
Exactly.
But it's delicious.
So good. It's so
delicious.
good.
But gosh, introducing foreigners to that as your first dish is
not,
it
was...
go for the safe foods. Go for bulgogi, bibimbap.
Right.
Those are the safe dishes.
No. They went straight. They deep dived right away. Yeah.
That's like giving people... Well, it's not like giving people hongo on the first...
Yeah, that was a whole nother level.
That's cruel. That's cruel to tricking people to have hongo.
Or the first time I tried bondegi. That was...
Bondegi.
That was...
I like bondegi. I know, but...
Yeah, I mean...
The reason is I made myself eat it enough until I liked it.
Yeah, you can't really, just have a nibble and then judge a food.
There's a restaurant close by that serves free bondegi.
Oh, as one of the side dishes. Yeah. I know. Sushi restaurant?
No, it's the shaved chadobagi. Chadobagi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's deji chadobagi. It's like shaved pork, and it's very cheap restaurant, and it's muhan refill, unlimited refill of the stuff. But they have Nongen namu, which is one of my favorite. Banchan too, which are these leaves. They're leaves from ulungdo, and they're pickled. They're sweet.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
they're so good.
I just go through plates and plates of that stuff, and then I get the bondegi just to scare my daughter. and I'm the only one eating them. I mean, my Korean wife and my Korean daughter, and then there's me, and I'm the only one eating the bondegi.
You're an expert on Korean food. That makes you an expert alone.
Yeah.